We have got 2 months left until 2026. 2 months, that's it. And honestly, that's not a countdown, it's a second chance. You can actually walk into 2026 as a completely different person. Not just someone who just hopes for change, but someone who worked for it. Someone who didn't wait for January 1st to feel new, they built that feeling before the year even ended. Because that's the truth. Change doesn't happen in the first day of New Year. It happens on a random day in November when you finally say, enough. Enough of wasting time, enough of pretending you have more of it, enough of wanting to be someone you were supposed to be months ago. This was my vision board for the year. When I made it, I was so sure, so excited. But looking at it now, most of it didn't even happen. Some goals I forgot about completely. And to be real, this vision board wasn't even specific. It was more like a collage of hopes than a roadmap. I used to think if I just put it out there, the universe would handle the rest. But it doesn't work that way. You can't just wish your way into your dream life. You have to build your way there. One uncomfortable, messy, disciplined day at a time. And that's why this time I'm not tearing this vision board down out of guilt. I'm looking at it as a reminder that even when I didn't hit my goals, I still grew. I learned what doesn't work. That saying, I want to be better, means nothing unless you define what better looks like. So now I'm doing it differently. No more waiting for the new year. These last 2 months, I'm locking in. I'm rewriting how this year ends because maybe 2025 didn't go the way I planned, but that doesn't mean 2026 has to start the same way. This is the reset, not when the clock hits midnight on December 31st, but now. 2 months left, and that's still time. Time to change your habits, your mindset, and your story. And if you really lock in, you won't just walk into 2026 hoping to be someone new, you'll already be them. I know that accepting the fact sounds basic, but it's actually the hardest part. Because accepting the fact means facing the truth that locking in isn't going to be easy, that you wasted time, and that you can't rewind the year no matter how much you wish you could. You have to accept that it's going to take effort, discipline, and maybe a few uncomfortable days where you want to quit. But that's exactly where it starts. Not when it's easy, but when you stop waiting for it to be easy. Stop replaying what you could have done in March or July or yesterday. You can't redo it. You can only learn from it. Regret won't give you the back the time you lost, but it will steal the time you still have. Forgive yourself for how this year went, for the goals you gave up on, the routines you broke, and the times you said, I'll do it later, but never did. You're a human. You messed up. We messed up, but that doesn't mean we failed. It just means that we get another chance to do it differently. So stop dragging your past into your present. What's gone is gone, and what's left is these 2 months, and that's still time. Time to fix your habits, rebuild your focus, and remind yourself that you're still capable. You don't need a clean state, you just need a decision that you're done punishing yourself for what's already over and ready to use what's still in your hands. Because if you think about it, these 2 months could be the reason 2025 feels different. Not because you waited for it, but because you locked in before it even started. After you accept everything that went wrong this year, you have to look at everything that went right. Because gratitude changes how you see your life. It reminds you that even when things didn't go as planned, they still went somewhere. Maybe you didn't hit every goal, but you learned something that will make you 10 times stronger next time. Maybe you lost people, but you found yourself a little more. Maybe it wasn't the year you wanted, but it was surely the year you needed. And that's what gratitude really is. It's not pretending everything's perfect. It's saying, yeah, this was hard, but I grew through it. Take time to actually write it down. Don't just think about it. Grab your notebook, your phone, anything, and list the things you're grateful for this year. The lessons, the people who stayed, the goals you did achieve, the moments that made you laugh even when you didn't feel like it. Write the small things too, like the days that felt calm, or one morning when your favorite song just played when you needed it the most. Because those little things are proof that even in the middle of chaos, life was still kind to you sometimes. And if you really think about it, being grateful doesn't just make you feel good, it changes how you move. When you appreciate what you have, you start taking better care of it. You show up more intentionally. You stop rushing and start noticing. And that energy, that peaceful, grounded energy, is exactly what you need to lock in for the next 2 months. So before you start chasing what's next, pause, look around, say thank you for the people who supported you, for the strength you didn't know you had, and for the lessons you didn't want but got anyway. Because gratitude doesn't shape how you see your past, it shapes how you walk into the future. And when you're grateful for what is, you'll attract more of what can be. So, yeah. Be grateful for the year that tested you, for the growth that changed you, and for the fact that even after everything, you still have time. 2 whole months to do better, feel better, and become better. Let's be honest for a second. We've all set those unrealistic goals at the start of the year. Like,
I'm gonna completely change my life, glow up, hit all my dreams by June.
and maybe we could have done it if we actually worked for it. But we didn't. We set goals like I'll wake up at 5 a.m., medicate, study post weekly, and become a whole new person. And then we blinked, and it's November. So now that we've got just 2 months left, it's time to be realistic. No fantasy versions of ourselves, no maybe I'll suddenly become that girl. Just the goals that we know we can achieve if we stay consistent. For example, one of my biggest goals for 2025 was to reach 1K subscribers on YouTube. I didn't hit that. Not because I was unlucky, not because the algorithm hates me, but because I literally posted one video the whole year. Yep, one. I can't even act surprised. But here's the thing, me making this video right now is one of my lock in goals. I know this video won't magically give me 1K subscribers overnight, but if I gain 2 or 3 more, that counts. And even if I get no subscribers but just some views, that counts. That's still progress, and that's what clear and specific means. I'm not chasing numbers, I am focusing on doing the thing that moves me forward, even if it's tiny. Another example, I'm such a bookworm. I love to read. But since September, I have been in the biggest reading slump ever. So, another goal for my lock in is to read 2 books before this year ends. One self help book, which honestly feels like a task at this point, and one cozy fall golden novel that just makes me love reading again. I don't need to read 10 books, I just need to fall back in love with reading. And maybe your version of this looks different. Like maybe your big 2025 goal was to write a book, but you ended up writing 3 chapters or zero. Now, expecting yourself to finish the entire book in 2 months is obviously unrealistic and a little bit stupid. Instead, make it specific. I'll write 6 chapters by January, or I'll complete 10 chapters before the new year starts. Whatever that feels that is possible to you, that's something you can actually do. When the goals are clear, your brain stops feeling overwhelmed. You stop saying, I'll start someday, and instead, you know when and where to exactly start and what to do. So, here's what I'm doing, I'm setting 3 4 realistic goals that I can fully focus on. Goals I can look and say, yes, if I try, if I work for it, I can actually make this happen. Because the lock in isn't about changing your whole life in 60 days, it's about proving to yourself that you can stay consistent, that you can finish what you start. And trust me, that energy, the I actually did what I say I would energy, that's the real glow up.
Okay, listen. Your space affects your mind more than you think. You can't expect to lock in when your desk looks like a war zone.
Phone storage is crying for help. So before you even start working on your goals, just take a day, just one, and clear it up. I'm talking about clearing your desk, organizing your cupboard, throwing out random papers you swore you would use later, and even decluttering your phone or laptop. Delete those screenshots from 2022. Remove apps you don't need and make your space feel new. And I know this sounds really basic and unnecessary, but when I did this, it weirdly changed everything. I didn't expect cleaning to make me productive, but once my space was clean, my mind actually wanted to work. It's like all mess around me was secretly cluttering my thoughts too. And honestly, this is such an underrated part of locking in. When your environment looks fresh, you automatically feel like you've hit a restart button. You stop living in the chaos of the old you and start building space for the locked in you. So, yeah, before we fix our habits, let's fix our surroundings. Clean space, clean energy, and a clean mindset. Now that we have set our goals, let's talk about the hard part, actually doing them. Because honestly, making goals is the easiest thing ever. Like, I can write become successful or glow up 100 times in my notes app. Doesn't mean I'll magically wake up as that person tomorrow. So, how do we make sure that we actually stick to our goals this time? Here's the thing, it's not about motivation anymore. Motivation fades faster than my phone's battery at 2%. What we really need is discipline and systems. Let's start with something simple, habit tracking. I used to think tracking habits was boring, like who wants to color tiny boxes every night? But once I actually started doing it, it became addicting. There's something about ticking off a box that gives you this fake but satisfying sense of control. Like, yes, I'm finally getting my life together. You can make it digital, aesthetic, or just a messy chart on a paper. Doesn't matter. What matters is that it reminds you to show up every day. And speaking of don't feel like it, let's address the villain that ruins all our plans, social media. Be honest, how many times you have said that I'll start working after this one video and it's suddenly 2 a.m. and you have watched more than 30 random edits and now you're too tired to move? So maybe we don't need a full social media detox but a social media diet. Unfollow accounts that drain you. Mute people who stress you out and make you compare yourself. And set screen limits, like the actual ones, not the ones you ignore every time they pop up. Because how can we lock in when we are literally unlocking our phones every 3 minutes? And one more thing, stop waiting to feel ready. You're never going to wake up one morning magically disciplined with a glowing to do list because consistency doesn't come after you're ready, it is what makes you ready. And reward yourself, like genuinely. If you hit your mini goals, finished a chapter, studied for 3 days straight, then scroll all day, just treat yourself. You don't need to wait for the big milestone to celebrate. Those little wins are what keeps you going. So, to sum it up, make your system simple, track your habits, control your distractions, and keep showing up. Even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, because these next 2 months, they'll pass anyway. But imagine entering 2026 already proud of yourself because you actually did what you said you would do. Let's get one thing straight. Locking in doesn't mean turning into a robot who only studies, works out, and never smiles. No, that's not the vibe. You can be disciplined and still have fun. You can wake up early, finish your goals, and still romanticize your coffee moment like it's a movie scene. Being in your lock in era doesn't mean cutting off joy, it means creating balance. Because if you hate every second of your routine, you're not going to stick to it. So stop being so hard on yourself. You don't need to work 24/7 or cancel all fun plans just to feel productive. You're allowed to take breaks. You're allowed to chill. Go for walks, bake something random, watch a cozy movie, call your friends. That's all part of life, not a distraction from it. And you know what makes this whole lock in thing way more enjoyable? Romanticizing it. Seriously. Make these 2 months feel special. It's fall and winter season. Everything already looks so cinematic if you just pay attention. So plan cute outfits for your study sessions. Decorate your desk with fairy lights. Make yourself a hot chocolate and put out the playlist that makes you feel like the main character. Because locking in isn't just about doing more, it's about feeling better while you do it. So yeah, while we're chasing goals, let's also enjoy the process. Let's make every day of these last 2 months something we actually remember. Not just for the work we did, but for the energy we created. Because when 2026 starts, I don't just want to say I achieved things, I want to say I lived through it beautifully. if you're watching this till now, this is your sign to lock in. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Whenever you're watching this, just lock in. It should be before January 1st, that's it. I know I planned to post this video on 1st of November, but a lot of things came up. I procrastinated, no excuses for that, and I posted this finally. I guess I'm posting this on 10th or 12th, because I today is 10th, and I will edit this after this. A bit of editing is pending, and this was my like first, the longest video I have ever made, and put in a lot of hard work in it. And if you're watching this till now, you don't know how much grateful I am to you. Thank you so much for watching this till now. And I want to tell you, when 2026 begins, you won't have to wish that you were disciplined or hope to change. You'll already be that person, because you didn't wait for the new year. You decided to lock in now. Even if it's 1 month till 2026, or even if it's 15 days, you still have time. 15 days is time, 10 days is time to develop at least one habit or do one thing that will make you ready for the new year 2026. So please, just let's make these next 2 months unforgettable for once, not because what we planned to do, but because what we actually did. Thank you so much again if you have watched this video till now, and more videos will be coming up in future, inshallah. And I'm so proud of myself, because this was a very like my first time creating a type of video like this, and I actually did complete it now. So I am very happy about it, and thankful to you if you're watching this till now. Thank you so much.